Well, welcome everyone to day 5, I believe this is. It's all kind of a blur of the Audiobiz virtual NAMM tour. We are in the home stretch of all of our presentations, and today we will be joined with the team from Link. We're going to be talking about cables and all the cool technology that Link is doing. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everyone this is an interactive event. So any questions that you may have, you can drop those in the comment. We already got one. So we got Andrew. He's jumping in. He's like, he reminds me of the music reminds him of Sons of Anarchy. So thank you, Andrew. So do like Andrew and put your comments in. We can bring those on the screen for the team to answer the questions that you may have. Also, we are going to be giving away some secret words today. We want you to collect all these secret words to win a limited edition mystery box. So we've done a word a day. So you're going to have to go back and watch some of those broadcasts from earlier in the week if you are just tuning in. But at the end of the week here, at the end of the day, go to our website at audiobiz.com/NAMM 2021, and you can enter those secret words to win a mystery swag box. And, you know, a lot of people have a question about what a mystery swag box is. So we're going to drop a little video about what that is, and then we're going to come back with the Link team.
So what is a mystery box? We've collected swag from all of our manufacturers, plus some guaranteed prizes that will be in the limited edition Audiobiz NAMM 2021 mystery box. These boxes will be packed at random and filled to the brim with t-shirts, hats, stickers, all the fun swag you'd normally get at NAMM. We've collected from all of our manufacturers. We're gonna pack these at random and send them to you. So all you have to do is collect the 5 secret words. We're gonna drop one every single day. You're just gonna go to this web address, fill out the form, submit your secret words, and be entered to win. So these mystery boxes are limited to the first 30 people that submit the correct 5 secret words. So you don't wanna miss out on the videos, and you don't wanna miss your chance to win one of our limited edition mystery boxes. This mystery box could be yours. It's so heavy. Don't sleep, get a mystery box.
Make sure you get that mystery word. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our virtual NAMM. You know, we've got the team from Link here. We've got Diane, Bob, RJ, and Valerio is now back in front of his screen. So joining us globally, this is a global event. We've got Valerio joining us from Italy, and the rest of the team joining us from good old cold Wisconsin. You know, we would love to all be in NAMM this year in California, but today it is a whopping 9 degrees right now in the wonderful state of Wisconsin.
Seven.
Oh, it's 7 over by you. It's a little warmer here. So, you know, I just wanted to bring in Link. You know, we've been working with Link for a couple of years now. A phenomenal company, and you know, Link does a whole lot of different things, but you know, it's all about connecting things. So we've got the team here. I'm going to actually toss it over to Diane, so she can actually introduce the team. So Diane, who do we have on the phone here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining. So yeah, like Sean said, we're a global company, so of course we had to have someone from Rome come in and join in the fun that we're doing this morning. So
hey, Roman, wave your hands. Good.
First, I'll actually start it off with Bob Vandenberg here. He's our Vice President of Marketing and Business Development. We have RJ Kenny, who is our Technical Sales Manager. I'm Diane Jensen. I'm our Market Product Manager. And then, of course, in our lovely Rome office, we have Valerio Catoni, who is also our liaison between our offices here, our office here in USA, and but he is our guru and you know, contact person over in Rome, and handles all the technical and sales side for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining. Valerio, I'm sure, what is it? It's late in the day for, right? What time is it?
It's almost, no, it's 5 o'clock p.m.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly. It's Bureau clock.
Actually,
You know,
Yeah. Give us a nice cheer. Give us a nice toast in Italian, Valerio.
Salute a tutti.
There we go.
Let's see. And I have one other question for Valerio, Sean. Sorry, but
No,
why is it the guy in Rome, Italy, is dressed warmer than the people in Wisconsin in 7 degrees? Okay, what's going on? What's the temperature in Rome today, so we can feel bad for you, Valerio?
Should be around 16 Celsius. No, a bit less actually. Yeah, it's about 12 Celsius today.
So probably 60s. You should have a hat on in weather like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not used to your cold anymore.
You know, Valerio was at our NAMM booth, not last year, but the previous year. And the reason he was over here is he spent 6 months with our team. So he's our star customer service support guy. But he was here during the time when we were minus 22, minus 23 degrees. So he said to me as he was leaving our country, I'm not genetically programmed for America. So anyway,
time to get out. Yep. Well, I did look at the temperature. It's only 54 degrees in Anaheim, so it's not super warm there. But
okay.
You know, you guys have actually been at NAMM for a couple of years now, which is, you know, a slight departure from the normal NAMM crowd. You know, we've seen a shift with the NAMM trade show a lot more in the pro audio side of things. So it's good to see you guys there, and to be able to interact with a lot of your customers and OEM relationships and things like that. Do you guys have any crazy NAMM stories, you know, that in the last couple of years that you've been there?
Only Diane has crazy NAMM stories.
We were across the one story. We were across the aisle and from Audiobiz, and of course they had a number of famous stars and singers on stage, and we were able to get pictures of Billy Idol and a whole bunch of famous singers. So that was kind of cool. That actually brought a lot of people into our booth because they were listening, so they had to come in and, you know, and of course then we had to talk to them. So that was always a good thing.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you know, like we mentioned, Link is an Italian company and a U.S. company, you know, but some people, you know, might not have really heard of Link before. But a lot of people in the pro audio industry probably have been using Link products without even knowing it with their LK connectors. But hey, Bob, do you want to give me a little bit you know, kind of history on how Link came about and where all this magic comes from?
Absolutely. Well, why don't you cut to our live booth shot that I've got there right now? So actually that was exactly what things looked like 1 year ago for all of us. But just back to Sean's point, you may not have heard of Link before, but you've probably heard of LK connectors. That brand of mil-spec connectors has been around for the past 30 years. My business partner, Marco in Rome, started the company 33 or 34 years ago. And we make a full line of mil-spec connectors as well as Euro cable, which is our cabling line. And one of the things that actually makes Link fairly unique is not only have we been in the pro connectivity business for over 30 years, and we've got offices in Rome, got offices in the States, but we also only focus on broadcast and entertainment. So there are a number of companies out there, cable companies, connector companies that have a broad range, but the only reason we get up in the morning is to work in the entertainment and broadcast spaces. So that's a little unique with Link. And then also because we control the connector designs and the cable designs, RJ is going to tell you a little bit later about our abilities with hybrid. We call it hybrid, where you're taking power and optical and cat cables and putting them all together in a single connector single cable solution. So that's what makes Link very unique compared to other players in the business. This is actually a quick shot from our facilities here in Middleton, Wisconsin, where all of our assembly for the U.S., South America, and Central America and Canada happens. And one of the things that actually makes Link unique, and Sean, I don't know if you want to say something about this, is our OEM partnerships. It really helps inform us a lot on our products.
Yeah, it is interesting. You guys have, becoming the rep, and learning about all the cool, fun skunkworks projects, that you guys are working on is always awesome. But it is very interesting how many of, the big boys that are in the pro audio industry, especially in the, the live and touring spaces, are partnered with Link. And from the stories I've heard, it really does develop, a lot of the, the products because of these OEM relationships, and really the relationships with the customers. It seems like Link definitely does have the you've got a problem, let's solve it kind of attitude, which is awesome, because we've got customers that are looking to do things, and I don't think I've ever had Link say no. They're like, hey, hold my beer, let's
and we joke it's only custom once, right?
Yep, it is only custom once, but yeah, you do have a ton of OEM relationships. So let's kind of like go through some of those, and people again may not know that they've been using your products.
Yeah, and to your point, I think we're really privileged to work with R&D teams all over the world, and then additionally their customers. So a lot of the ideas that we get come from the people who are out in the field actually using the gear, and whether it's production companies we work with directly or R&D teams for a number of our OEM partners, as well as their clients and so forth. So we're very, very fortunate to have that. I'll just bounce through a few examples. Actually, these are cables and connectors that are actually put together in Italy and over in Valerio's side of the world for DMB. So you wouldn't know that this is Euro cable. You wouldn't know these are LK connectors, but this is actually our 24 conductor speaker cable, which also has capabilities for data and things like that. So that's the behind the scenes with DMB. It's all labeled for DMB, but it's exactly the same designs and stuff we've got on this side of the pond. Here are a few more shots of some things we've done with the Crown V racks. Here's that D80 rack that we do. Here's our connector here, and if you take a look up here, here's actually the Adamson E-Racks. So all of the power and the signal distro for all sides of the world happen here in Middleton, Wisconsin, and we ship them up to Canada. They build up their racks there. Our Italian friends, we've been working with RCF for well over a decade. So all of these signal and power distro panels are actually built in our Italian office, labeled for RCF. And here's a better shot of that Adamson E-Rack that we work with. And here's another interesting one. We've worked with EAW for a number of years, and their Anya system actually required individual cat cables to every one of the boxes. So finding ways to try to elegantly bring all that data up to the bumper bar and get it distributed and so forth is another one of our challenging projects we've worked on in OEM side. So I think, finally, here's the Bose signal distro stuff. But if you look at our list of partners, here's the latest list. I think we probably have everybody here, but we're very fortunate to have these relationships, and they really help inform our products.
It's like the who's who of the pro audio world. You guys are also getting into some, I would say, in these challenging times when there are not a whole lot of tours happening, which is a real bummer. Being a live sound guy, I would rather be out twiddling some knobs and listening to music. But you guys have even gotten into some interesting areas with like aerospace and, you know, like all these just different types of technologies, and even some sanitizing stuff. It's been interesting to see how you guys have adapted over the last couple months.
Yeah, and actually, you bring up RJ because he's the rocket scientist in the group, and add him into the conversation here. He can't really tell us too much about it because he's going to have to kill us if he does. But just give people a little taste of what's happening in your rocket business, RJ.
Yeah, we've just had a lot of really sort of, you know, unique situations coming up in the last year, really, where with the, you know, if you pay attention to the news, there's a new rocket upstart sort of showing up every week, and you know, we've you know, through word of mouth and, you know, just some good websites, you know, we've, you know, made a bunch of really good connections with these companies, and whether it's helping them deploy launch equipment or do the actual testing of some of the devices themselves, we've sort of carved out a little niche for ourselves in that world. So that's been a sort of an exciting new adventure for us. So, you know, and
I mean, it's just cool to see how, you know, you guys are really adapting, you know, in the times. And again, it also just goes to the quality of the product, you know, to be used in, you know, these. You think production, you know, is an intense environment. You know, imagine launching rockets or something. You know,
we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's on our QA processes with those because we don't really want to miswire the ghost with on that. But
yeah.
But it is, I mean, thank you to Marco, who's our founder, to have the insight to start with quarter turn twist, ruggedized mil-spec connectors. So it's not such a strange transition when you talk about the multiple different signal types that need to go to, say, a launch vehicle, but you want a single quarter turn twist to make all those connections work. And it's also got to be IP68 and survive the conditions and things like that. So it's been really interesting as we've touched in some of the industrial and aerospace as to the applications for our products we just hadn't been focused on, but we've got time now, right?
Exactly. And, you know, hybrid technology, which we've got a connector up here, some of the LKG and the LKO connectors. I really wanted to get into this because this is one of the things that really makes Link unique, you know, is the hybrid technology that you guys are doing. You know, we're going to touch on some fun things, but you know, again, kind of going back to being a production guy, and RJ and Bob, and we've all done this before. You know, the ability to pull one cable versus 6 or 8, or you know, it saves time. You know, at the load in and the load out. And that's really, you know, the hybrid technologies combines a whole lot of different things into one connector. And that's, you know, definitely an area that really sets you apart. So let's get into, you know, some of those solutions, and we'll pull RJ up here since he is the master at those.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, like Bob mentioned, you know, what's one of the really unique things about Link is that we control the whole process. We are the cable manufacturer. We are the connector manufacturer. So we can make combinations of these things, you know, for really any sort of application. So on the slide here, what we're looking at is sort of a good array of the kinds of things we're, you know, putting all together into one style connector. So starting with the right side, actually, you know, that's what we affectionately refer to as the Sean's box connector. So just a quick overview, what's going on in this connector, as well as the matching cable we produce, is there's 6 little pins up top that are for, you know, twisted pair for, you know, digital audio, analog audio, DMX, comm, you know, really whatever else you might need. The 3 little pins along the bottom then are for a single 20 amp circuit of power. And then the 2 larger circles are what we call our LKG gigabit connector contact. And what it does is allows for a fully qualified you know, gigabit Ethernet signal, HD base T, you know, any different kinds of signals you might put down a Cat6 cable to actually go through the multi-pin, you know, both isolated from all of the other signals due to the way the shielding of that contact's made. And just, you know, whether you're doing Ethernet down one of the Cat6s and, you know, doing HD base T or some other type of signal down the second Cat6, it's going to work sort of regardless.
Yeah,
So-
that I have to say that the Sean's box, it's amazing. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
tell us a little of the story behind the Sean's box. RJ's going to actually show one here real quickly, but and as a matter of fact, I can pull up a picture.
You've got to slide that.
Talk about it.
Yeah,
So-
here we'll pull that up. But you know, again, this kind of goes to the the speed of doing things in production environments and knowing that you've got solid connection. So you want to explain that one, RJ?
Yeah, well, it was developed with you, Sean.
Yeah.
So using that connector we were just talking about, the idea behind this guy is that it's it's sort of an all-in-one like front of house solution where you've literally got your Edison duplex for power, a true unlocking connector for something you want to make sure doesn't get kicked off accidentally. Then down on this end, we've got the two Cat 6s, like I mentioned. And then across the center section here, using those twisted pairs, we've actually got a couple things in parallel. So we've got 3-pin male and female so that you can use them like tie lines or your comm or just a microphone signal for talkback or what have you. And then also in parallel with those is a 5-pin for doing DMX control. So with this one box, whether it's the lighting console or the audio console that day, you can kind of use it for whatever. We've also used the same sort of thing with like podiums and churches and schools and things that have to get moved around the facility to be able to make and break these connections really efficiently and easily.
Yeah, I have to say the thing I love the most on there is the Edison outlet that you use. You'll notice there is some USB connectors on there, so when you're at the gig and you need to charge your phone, you have that capability. But
actually, you know what? The day you were over here, and I think we had an open house, and we were driving video over one of the Cat 6s. I think we were driving ACN through it as well for the lighting control. Were we doing Dante or were we doing some other protocol audio side, right? Or it actually was with your I think with one of your Alan Heath desks or something like that. So we're driving all of that and power over a single connection, and that was cool to have as a complete front of house solution. Just set up like that.
You touched on the podiums too, which has been kind of an interesting area. Again, kind of a departure from the the production environment, but we're seeing this a lot more of higher education. They have these smart podiums that have computers in there, wireless mics, touch screens for Crestron or AMX control. But you're in rooms that are sometimes divisible, or just the ability to set up on different sides of the stage. And that's always been the bane of every integrator's existence, is they get this installed, they get it all working, and then a week later they're like, get the service call of, well, it's not working now, and you roll a truck, and it just happens to be that the AMX and the Ethernet lines are switched, because somebody plugged them in wrong. And using the hybrid connector, really, you can't screw it up. So, anyone from a teacher to a facilities person, it doesn't need to be somebody on the AV team. So, we're seeing a lot of those applications start to kind of come out in, again, non-production environment. So.
Actually, Sean, cut to the image I've got up right now, because it sort of plays into exactly what you were saying. RJ can sort of describe what this panel was, but this was a facility panel for a large stage manager panel, right, RJ?
Yeah, so sort of in the more of the theatrical world, a big stage manager console that's got the comm system, video monitors, the cue lights, and then audio, talkback, and, a number of different signals, as well as power, of course, for everything. So this panel was used for a university in Tokyo, actually, and it's got two different multi-pins on it. It's got a 4 Cat 6 with 10.5 power, so like an L2130's worth of power. In one of the connectors, and then the other one's got 3 more Cat 6s, and then as well as 4 RG6 connections for doing the video monitors.
Oh.
So with 2 sort of umbilical trunks, they were able to connect the stage manager console, stage left, stage right, wherever they needed to move it to, or get it off the stage completely without having to make 20 different connections potentially. And we've started to do a whole number of these kind of projects with those same connectors. We also just did a church that's in a Jimmy Cafetorium on the West Coast. Yeah. And
Jimmy Cafetorium.
Jimmy Cafetorium. Yep. And so they've got a portable front of house position that they actually roll out of a closet. And it's the same kind of a thing where they've got the lighting, console, the audio console, and the video control as well on here. And with 2 of our multi-pin connectors, they're able to, pull out the umbilical, plug it in, and away they go every Sunday. So
yeah. Well, before we go on, we lost RJ. RJ disappeared on us.
Wait a minute.
Technical difficulties. Well, it's a good time to take a break there for a second. I did want to say it is the time of the episode that we need to drop the secret word for the limited edition mystery box. Link has kindly donated some awesome swag to be in these boxes and some other cool prizes that you could win. So I am going to drop the mystery word here. And make sure that you get this and go to our website at the end of the week here, audiobiz.com/NAMM 2021, and enter those words and your information to get one of those swag boxes. So let's get the secret word of the day. The secret word is goat. We had to throw one weird one in there. One of these days I'll get into the story of the goat and Audiobiz. So we got to bring back Diane. Diane, what do you think of the word of the day?
I love it. It fits perfectly.
I immediately went to cheese. I was thinking goat and then cheese. Okay.
Yep. So,
yeah, I went to Aaron Rodgers.
Goat and yoga together,
the goat yoga. There we go.
Yeah, the goat yoga. Yeah.
So one of the staples at your booths is normally a giant wheel of Parmesan cheese. I have always wanted to know, what does a giant Parmesan cheese wheel cost?
Where in the world?
Which side of the ocean?
We're going to say over here, because you got to bring it over. Unless Valerio, are you smuggling cheese sometimes to trade shows or anything? I think it's hard cheese, so it's able to come through customs, right?
It is, but just in small quantity.
Yeah, but just inside of connector cases and things like that, and that's all we'll tell her. We're going to have to kill you again. But okay, so Valerio, when you cut one of those wheels in half, how many kilos is it? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's give or take 20 kilograms.
So 20 kilos, so about 40 pounds, right?
Yeah,
roughly. And when you buy one of those in Italy, approximately what is the cost? Just throw a number out.
I would say more or less $600 for the most
right.
good
Yeah.
one.
So for 40 pounds of wonderful aged Roman Parmigiano, it's $500-600, right?
All right.
Okay.
Well, see, the mysteries are answered.
On this side of the ocean, when we go into the Las Vegas Convention Center or Orange County or something like that, what have they quoted us for cheese over here, Diane?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you want Parmesan in your booth, it's not cheap.
I think they look at you like, why are you bringing Parmesan into your booth? And B, that's going to be a lot of money.
I think our last quote truly was $2,350.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some,
okay. So there you go.
Yeah, it's nothing. Piece of cake.
So since a lot of us are in Wisconsin here, Michaela just got the secret word here, and he was wondering if instead of using the word goat, we could put in Aaron Rodgers, but
I think that should count.
It should. There you go, Bob.
Right, I'm ready. Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go!
Awesome. Well, let's continue on with some of your other hybrid technologies. Up here, we've got the LKO options, which O stands for optical. So, we've got some kind of additional, branch out. First we've got copper connections, and now we move on to optical.
And RJ, I think you've got some of those in your hands there too, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. In fact, the ones we're looking at on the screen there, sitting here to my left. So this is actually sort of the big boy version of the Sean's box, where It's actually 4 Cat6s along with an L2130 worth of power in one cable and connector. And I don't know how well you can see me, but this is the cable actually. So it's not a ton bigger than a normal L2130 cable as far as, you know, what you're having to deal with to get all that functionality. So, you know, imagine just pulling this one thing out front of house and you've got, you know, 3-phase, 30 amps of power, and then, you know, 4 Cat6s for, you know, Dante primary, secondary, a lighting network, and, you know, maybe an HD-based T connection for video, or, you know, a comm network, or whatever you really need it to be. So that's the sort of the next step up in copper. And then I believe the next slide is sort of our everything, including the kitchen sink connectors. I keep telling people. So as you look at that connector, what you're looking at is on top, you've got 2 of those gigabit Cat6 contacts. And then along the bottom, we have the 3-phase 30 amps of power. So 5 pins for that. And then in the middle of that guy, the nose of the smiley face, there are 2 MTP style connectors in there, fiber optic, which has 12 single mode on one and 12 multi-mode fibers on the other. So really this one connector can have, you know, hundreds of different types of signals, whether it's, you know, full UHD video, you know, Dante primary, secondary, and then power as well. So the panels we're looking at actually are something we're currently developing with a customer on the East Coast that does a lot of mobile video production, like in why am I blanking? Radio City Music Hall. So the idea is that we're going to be able to set up pods for their cameras. Well, they'll run one cable that's got all of this fiber, power, and data, and, you know, Ethernet lines to where there's a set of cameras, and then be able to spoke out to everything they need, whether it's Dante for audio capture, whether it's the, you know, the tally and, you know, comm systems as well. So, you know, looking at this panel, we've got, you know, ST connectors for all of the fiber. We've got, you know, an L21 through in case you need, you know, additional quad boxes and that kind of thing for power, as well as just some Edison courtesy outlets. And then finally, the 2 copper lines on there, which, you know, if you're under 100 meters, you can use for Ethernet, as well as then we've actually got built onto this panel what we call widgets, which is, you know, using the twisted pairs of a Cat6 to use them for, you know, just regular old analog audio, digital audio, or DMX. So sort of, again, one connector to do an entire show all together. So.
Also, one thing I'd love to mention on here too is, you know, all of our hybrid connections are UL listed. You know, so a lot of people always come up and say, well, how can you be putting all these you know, all this data and everything with power? So you guys have thought of everything and painstakingly go through that process to get all the connectors listed. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thanks for that, Sean. That's actually a really important part that I kind of glossed over earlier. So yeah, all of the cables and connectors are in our UL file, and then any of these, you know, distribution pieces we're doing, whether it's portable or for an installation or something, are also in our UL file for those actual assembled parts. So, you know, as far as any regulatory concerns, we've spent a bunch of time figuring all that out over the last, you know, 15 plus years. Link's been developing these types of cables and connectors. So.
And speaking of widgets, we will part of some of the mystery swag boxes. We're gonna pull Diane back up on here because Diane was gracious enough to help me get some kind of cool prizes. So you may win a set of widgets and an Ethernet cable. Correct, Diane?
Yeah, absolutely. Our big prize is, you know, a 100-foot Ethernet cable and a pair of audio widgets for you. So yeah, hopefully, you know, it's going to be good.
Throw those in your mix box for that emergency of I just need 4 more channels. And let me tell you, I have to say I use the category cable all the time, and it is the best category cable out there, bar none. And I've used a lot, so.
Yeah, let's talk about widgets and what Link means with widgets, because RJ is going to show you a bunch of stuff here. But I think that this has probably happened, what do you think, over the last When do you think we launched our first widgets, RJ? And tell us a little bit about the history of AES and widgets and what the heck we're even talking about there.
Yeah, so so we were really one of the first people in the audio side of the world specifically doing this. So since about 2013 now, we've been developing a whole line of these sorts of products, and the idea with them is that normal signals that we're used to putting down, twisted pair of cables, whether it's a microphone signal, line level audio or digital AES audio, as well as things like DMX. We can actually use the 4 twisted pairs in a Cat6 cable like it's a 4-channel snake, essentially. And then using something like a breakout tail like this, or a number of some of these PCB solutions we'll talk about and show you, break these things out in easy, quick ways. So whether it's I've got a Cat6 line already running in a building that I just want to repurpose to get some DMX to the other side of the room, or in the case of that first image you were showing there, Bob, back on the PowerPoint, we have a company we work with who did the opening and closing ceremonies in Rio. And because it was all portable, it was only there for the show, it all had to come out later. There was no permanent infrastructure for any of this. So what they did with a combination of 24 kilometers of our Cat6 cable, as well as different widget breakouts like these, as well as some digital ACN ArtNet type signals, we're able to distribute the DMX signals around the whole venue. And then on the audio side of things, we've been working with a company on the East Coast, Bob Goldstein and Maryland Sound, for a number of years for things like the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration and presidential inauguration even, where they're actually using widgets and our Cat6 to take AES signals a full 1,000 feet between active devices. So they're using the JBL 3500 amplifiers, coming in, daisy chain out, and going to the next delay tower in these huge venues that they're trying to cover with this stuff. So yeah, so here's just some examples of some of the things that we're talking about here. The one on the left is an audio breakout, and the one on the right there is for doing RCF or even Meyer sound powered line arrays. Where you're getting the control signal as well as a couple audio lines up there. And then, like I was saying, we've got a number of, as we've sort of gone through these things, we've developed a bunch of PCBs to really make this as sort of modular and easy to put together as possible. So whether it's, a standard 1U panel, like a Middle Atlantic UCP style plate, being able to just take, slap one of these PCBs on it, and then just using standard Cat6 patch cables to go between, a little breakout board like this. We've got them for things like our, multi-pin connectors, as well as like, D-sub connectors for, different kinds of other IO devices, to really just using simple patch cables, be able to build up custom panels, or even, simplify field terminations for an install, where we've seen a lot of this stuff starting to get used now. We've got a huge project going on in Dubai. They've got a big expo coming up, and they're using our Cat widgets for all of the data distribution throughout the facility. So it's just really simplifying a bunch of these terminations, where anyone who can crimp an RJ45 connector can now be doing DMX terminations and audio terminations. So
the audience is speaking. Jessica is a fan of the audio widgets.
Thanks, Jess.
Great to see you, Jessica.
See, it's a virtual NAMM. Even the booth visitors come to us. I agree with Jessica. I've got a set of audio widgets in my mix box, because it is always that the guest musician comes on and you don't have the provision in your snake or something like that to be able to do it, and always keeping that spare Ethernet available. And Bob's your uncle.
Well, and we're actually seeing a lot of the larger production companies opting for a complete Cat6 infrastructure. Mm-hmm. So the idea of having power plus Cat, maybe a little bit of optical, like RJ was talking about earlier, in your front of house connection. And one day it's digital audio, another day it's comms, or it's different types of lighting signals or video signals. So it really helps you not have to have discrete infrastructures for all of those different types of discrete signals. And that's the thing where it actually starts saving you some substantial money, as well as just simplifying the setup.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are also doing some hybrid widgets with power too. So I pulled that up on the screen here. So this is going to be giving you that, again, that category cable that you can break out and use the different widgets that we've got, but also power. So super helpful. Again, just kind of easing the pains of the production world.
Well, and think about all the powered boxes that are out there now, right? All the QRC stuff and RCF stuff and Meyer and so forth. So same deal, having a single cable where you can run your audio drive, your digital for whatever your remote DSP monitoring and control is, as well as power up to the boxes in a single connection. And this is sort of the granddaddy. Tell us about this one, RJ. Speaking of unifying on a Cat6 infrastructure.
Yeah, so this is a front of house breakout panel essentially. That's just 6 Cat6s, and yeah, kind of to what Sean was saying. The world's your oyster, right? So whether you need 6 Ethernet networks, or maybe today I need 2 for my Dante primary, secondary. My third one's my lighting ACN network, and then maybe 4 and 5, I'm plugging into a set of widget PCBs. So I've got some analog audio, sends and returns to, send out to the video truck, and my talkback mic coming back to me. And then just, an aux network for internet, or, control of amplifiers or whatever and from day to day, you can just be switching up what you're using the 6 Cat6s for. So, if you've just got a huge audio network, now you can, just use them for that the next day, and, mix and match as needed. So
we got a question from Andrew, one of our local guys here in the territory. Do you guys foresee making any in-wall widgets, something specifically for the the install market? Which I would agree, it's way easier to terminate a category cable than it is to solder a bunch of cables, especially when you've got a plate dangling out of the wall after you've pulled stuff out. So is that an area that you guys think you might be expanding into?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, a number of these different PCBs we already have, or even the example of an LK54 multi-pin, we've already been using these in a number of different installation situations. We can punch a piece of metal to fit anything. We've got some smaller ones, like I mentioned the project in Dubai a little bit ago with the DMX ones, and that's a much smaller piece that could fit on a 1-gang plate. So we've got some different configurations and layouts, whether PCBs are vertical or horizontal, to fit in a number of different types of enclosures and wall plates and things. So I think we're there, actually.
Yeah, I think, talk to your manufacturer's rep, because he can send you a bunch of drawings and pictures of ones we've already done for projects.
Awesome. Well, we got one more thing to talk about, and we brought Diane back for this one.
Yeah, of course. As we've been talking, Link does a lot of custom and hybrid connections and distribution, and of course, we are certainly doing your standard tour grade cables as well. So DMX, obviously Cat6, standard mic cables, digital audio cables, certainly power cables as well. And of course, in the spirit of NAMM and trade shows, we certainly have a offer to provide. So if you need any of these, we're giving a 10% discount off your assembly order. So that's including widgets, EtherCon, DMX, 2-pair, PowerCon, True One. But yeah, feel free to give us a call or talk to your local rep here, Redbeard, and we'll get you squared up.
Awesome. Well, we are coming to the end of our stream, so thank you guys for joining us. I see Valeria dropped off there. It's getting late.
He had a second glass of wine and forgot he
Exactly. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk with us on our virtual NAMM. Again, unfortunately, we weren't able to all get together and have a good time like we normally do at NAMM this time of year. But things will be coming back, and we will be seeing everyone at trade shows in the future. So, again, we appreciate that. If anyone does want to get samples of cable or see different things that we've got to offer from Link, you can reach out to us at audiobiz.com or just give us a call, and yeah, we can help you out. So thanks again, guys, for joining us.
Thanks for pulling this together. Audiobiz is I mean, I've seen some of the other sessions and so forth. It's been a really fun week, and it almost feels like we're back in Anaheim. So, thank you to the Audiobiz team for doing this. Yeah, it's been great.
I have to say, and I've got 2 more to go this afternoon, and then I am done. And it really does feel like a trade show week for me. It's been pretty busy, but it's always fun to talk with everyone and hear the stories and hear what's new from everyone. So, again, appreciate you guys coming on, and we will be talking to you guys later. Thanks again.
Everyone.
Cool.
Thanks.
Ciao, everyone. Thank you.